What's up, everyone? This is Just the Guys After Show, Popping Politics After Show. We're here just hanging out, providing the male perspective to the ladies' show. Tonight it's me, Logic, Black Chad,
AKA Reason, Black Chad,
and
got
Black
Gimpy
Chad,
Death.
and Black Chad, the mic lover.
Oh,
He
man,
loves-
come on, man.
He loves
Perspective again. Here he comes. They don't have any perspective on what went on 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. So if I were to turn my camera, this is what would happen.
No, he's
See how far away I actually am?
but you see that you turned.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's what happens when you go in motion like that.
Hey,
You generally
so
either get further or closer away to a thing. Like
Okay,
that's what happens when you move.
what's going on right here then?
How are you guys going to get it under an hour so he can play Assassin's Creed with this?
Yeah. Why do we have to keep it under an hour, Logic? What's going on, man?
Well, for a time, right? Because
Uh-huh.
it's a school night, and I do want to play at least 5 minutes of Assassin's Creed.
You're trying to get some Assassin's Creed in. I have another test. I did a test on Linux partitioning, you guys. I got another test after this show tonight. So I have four. Let me see. I have 4 graded assignments I got to take care of before the end of this week. I'm trying to knock them out early.
So what are you studying for? I mean,
Are you really? Like you would definitely know.
I'm asking for the people, the viewers.
Yeah.
Come
on, man.
Yeah, I'm for people that don't know, I'm an IT guy, but apparently in this world, you have to be properly certified to get to where you want to get to in life. So I'm taking care of that. I've been taking care of that for a little while now, but I'm finishing taking care of it.
Cool.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of a fun fact. I mean, we're pretty much all IT guys.
Yeah, we're all IT people.
So this is got to be the lamest show that you're ever going to watch on the web because it's all nerds.
Hey,
And geeks.
Hey, you know what? I would consider myself more of a geek.
Yes, same. I have that same.
So what's the difference? What's the difference?
What's the difference? Without trying
One's
to be
derogatory, one's not.
Well, no. One is and shout out to Big Bang Theory who made #nerding popular, really. But I would classify the difference between a nerd and a geek is one would be I like math, the other is I like Star Trek. You know,
That's
like my younger
brother. Giovanni's a nerd, and we're geeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Giovanni. I think we're all mixtures of both. If it was a math thing, I think I would confidently say I could probably crush both of you if it were a math.
In
thing.
math? What's 5 plus 5?
11.
5 plus 5, 97.
Oh my God. What's 2 plus 2? What's 2 plus 2?
Well, knowing how you think and considering the fact that we've had this conversation before, it could be either 4, 1, or 5. You know, it could be any of those answers.
I thought you were better than all of us in math. You're not supposed to use my answer.
No. I said no. Your answer was 5.
So it sounds like you're the worst at math.
Your answer was 5. My answer is either 1 or
5.
My answer is 1 or 4.
I thought you were good at math.
Absolutely.
So there's only one answer.
Well, yes, there is only one answer. 2 plus 2 will always equal 4.
Oh my
I don't know. I saw this movie and I read this book where they told me it was 5.
No, I mean,
I've seen the logical explanation on why it's 5.
Well, that logical explanation would technically make it 1.
Well, no, I got you. Yeah, but it's you got to go through so many hoops to get there. Like, and you have to draw it out. Like, you can't just put it together and say 2 plus 2 is 5. Like, you literally have to draw it out and make it make sense. But I digress from that one because it's stupid. But hey guys, go ahead and like, share, subscribe to Metro Conservative Media, all that good stuff. The links in the comments section or the description. Support the channel. You can donate. PayPal. Oh, you got the total. No way!
Oh, dude, he got it there. I can say something about it.
Dude, I got hooked up because my girl does early ed.
What? Oh man, that's
brilliant, bro. Before I could say anything about it, he actually popped it up. I was gonna go deep into it. Good job, man.
These books are absolutely amazing.
Black Chad, drop a commercial.
Yeah, drop a commercial. Oh well, I'll speak. Before we go, let's reiterate what Logic just said. Please like, share, subscribe. Check us out on our website, www.metroconservativemedia.com. We are the Pop and Politics After Show. We do Pop and Politics 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. The 8:30 show with KJ on Thursday night. Great Thoughts Matter. And don't forget to also check out the links for Color, Communism, and Common Sense, wonderful book, and the Tuttle Twins as well, which our friend Gimpy is popping on the screen as we speak. I can attest these books are utterly and absolutely ridiculous. My daughter has
He means
a
amazing.
large quantity of them, and she's learning everything from...
They have a monthly magazine.
No,
Yeah.
well, that's cool too. But she's learning everything from proper spending to where money goes to. It's got a plethora of different learning ways to properly learn at an incredibly young age.
You're sounding like Kamala Harris right now.
Dude, bite me.
Yeah.
But the point is, you guys.
We have work to do, and we're going to work together to get our work done that we're working together on.
As I was saying before,
we're not.
You know what? Watch
7 minutes
this.
in, and
So as I was saying about these books are incredibly awesome, and they help. What they help you do is, he popped himself back out. No, you guys understand what we didn't get as children, what we didn't learn as children. I wish I would have had some foundational stuff like this when I was a child. My wife and I were talking about it today. The stuff that we're teaching our children today, if our parents knew to teach us that stuff. Yeah. So Tuttle Twins, great books, you guys. Absolutely. Good stuff.
This is really good. It teaches you that you do and you play fair, and the golden rules, do unto others as you want done to yourself.
Good stuff. Absolutely. Conservative values, man. Good stuff. Absolutely.
Cool. So I have a question for you guys.
What's going on? KJ, good evening. What's up?
I have a question. So like, which one's worse? All right. Marrying Gabrielle Union or being a Cleveland Browns fan?
Oof. Oh, wow. That's like a race to the bottom of all time.
Hold on.
Hell, I would
marrying
say Cleveland Browns.
Gabrielle Union or being a
Cleveland
Browns fan?
Which one's worse?
Which one is worse? I would have to say, oh, damn.
Browns fan. Sorry, that's much more heartbreak because you always start the season thinking you're going to win.
No, well, not necessarily. I mean, who they picked up now, we don't know how many. We don't know how many games Watson's going to be out. Even, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what? And Deliver Us from Eva made it worse. I am just not a Gabrielle. If I'm a gun to my head, man, I have to say Cleveland Browns fan.
But they're both worse. But at least, like when you're playing sports, there's hope. Like you get hope along the way. You'll never have hope married to Gabrielle Union.
Put it like this: at least if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you'll still be a man after the season. By the time it's all said and done,
KJ, I love you.
Yeah, KJ took my picture.
KJ is awesome. She's always awesome. We love you, KJ. Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the season with the Cleveland Browns, you'll still at least be a man. At the end of the season with Gabrielle Union, we don't know what you'll be.
Yeah, we don't know what your children might be either.
Yeah. So speaking of that, it's Pride Month.
It is Pride Month. Yes.
Speaking of Gabrielle Union, it is.
Dude, that was a great segue.
Pride Month.
KJ-esque segue. Speaking of Pride Month.
So what are you guys doing to celebrate?
Gosh. To celebrate
Pride
Pride Month?
Every day. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's not like...
It's right now. It seems like it's lost a little bit of luster.
Well, I think because they hitched their boat to trans.
I don't know. I would get that. Normally, I would have to agree. I haven't seen as much advertisement for Pride Month as I've seen in recent past.
Because people didn't
Or
realize their kids would get dragged into strip clubs for drag shows.
or have we been desensitized to it?
No, I mean, I see less pride flags than I did last year in my neighborhood.
But
Last year they were everywhere.
they've been flying year round nowadays. Though. I mean,
That's
you got
true. Some do.
you got the creeds that are posted on the front lawns. You know, like believe science and love is love, and
Yes.
like you know those black signs with the colorful letters
Yes.
that got all those
Yeah.
You
all
know
those
what you're talking about. But
all those things that people are allegedly believing. And then there's a lot of flags been flying around just all year. So I think there's a little bit of
you
desensitization.
gotta keep up, man. I got a neighbor that their front yard flag changes. It was Pride for the whole year, and then it was Ukraine, and then all of a sudden it's Pride again.
So like, I guess why fly flags though? Like what
Solidarity, man. They're standing together with a virtue signaling symbol to feel better about themselves.
So I saw a video a while ago. I don't have it ready or posted here, but do you know there's like 500 flags that are representative of the
Yeah. If I can get a share, and here's the crazy thing. You know what? Here's the crazy thing. My daughter was playing Roblox, and I don't know if I sent this to you guys or not. This was probably 6-7 months ago. And on that Roblox game, it literally showed all the different flags for all, and there are like,
I think there's more pride flags than I think there's more pride flags now than countries in the yeah.
Actually, hold on.
I think there's more pride flags now than countries that exist on the globe.
Oh no, I don't know if there are that many.
There's quite a few, buddy. How many countries are there on the globe? Like 190 or something like that?
Yes.
It is something around. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, I think there's like 275 and 3/4 pride flags.
195 countries.
So both of the nerds are typing.
Of course.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that get slapped with that.
There was a 45-minute long video on it on YouTube trying to explain what every flag meant.
Yeah.
Why would you need that much symbology though?
I mean, think about that. Why? Like, why?
Why would you need that much? That's marketing. That's like endless marketing campaigns that like you just keep moving it around.
I mean, you gotta say they're genius about something. Like Patrick Henderson says, what do you expect from the creative class? I mean, that's true. Like there's a lot of creativity, you know, in I would say, I guess, that community. A lot of creativity, abstract thinking. I mean, it's borderline brilliant, but it's quite dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I came up with.
No, there's a lot more than that.
And I'm sure and that's just stupidity right there. Hold on. There's definitely a lot more than that right now. This was something to the effect of this was on
Roblox.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
mean, that is
take kids to drag shows. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, on what planet does that shock you? If parents are dragging their kids to drag shows to watch men dance around in a male strip club, and it's like for Pride Month, how is having flags in Roblox a shocker to you as a parent? Like, you should be prepared for that shit. To be fair, like that shit's everywhere.
So how do you address that as a dad? Like, what do you say? Like, how do you address it?
How did I address it as a dad? She doesn't play Roblox anymore.
So you took the game away?
Yeah. See, my whole thing is, and for the ones out there who have daughters, my mentality is we have an issue with the adultification of children, especially girls. So, I mean, she's 11 now. I mean, the oldest is turning 20 this year in her third year of college. Then the youngest is 11, and it's like, man, No, I mean, I want her to be able to feel like an 11-year-old, but the stuff that they're putting out here for these kids is way too advanced for them.
So
I
the
mean, I
flag,
want
the
her to be
flag,
11 and actually feel like an 11-year-old.
so the flag in Roblox, she doesn't play Roblox anymore because of the
Yeah,
flag.
yeah, that's been 86.
So you took the game away because of the flags.
I took the game. Well, I took the game away for
Can
a
I ask you
couple
a
of.
question?
I
Does
took it. I took the game away for a few reasons. I took the game away for a few reasons. Not
wait,
not
wait,
not
wait.
just that. I took the game away
I'm
for a few
not.
reasons.
I have a question. By taking the game away, in terms of like confronting the adversity that you found in the game,
Mhm.
doesn't that create a long term problem for her real world conflict resolution skill? Like you're not going to be able to remove this from the universe. Like she's going to go to a workplace and
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
like
right.
if,
But
she, if
you're talking
the
about the.
answer is to shut it out completely and not learn how to function around it, that's also not.
No. I got that. I got that. But you know what? I just believe that there are some things that we as parents should be teaching our children.
Yes,
Like
KJ.
that's why.
Yes, I have more than once, unfortunately.
Come on, man.
Um,
Let Chad
no,
finish his
no,
comment.
no. I just literally believe that there are things that we as parents should be teaching our children. We should.
I don't
I
think I
don't.
would take the game away. So I would.
Hold on, but look, but then, and I'll let you jump in. I'll
Yeah.
land the plane at this. But I mean, let's be realistic here. Again, and we've talked about it. I told you guys. Her school said sent a paper home and said, "Do you want to do sex ed, or do you guys want to teach you the stuff yourself?" You look at the paper for sex ed; it gives an entire breakdown of what they're supposed to be teaching her. And the first entire paragraph had nothing to do with sexual education. I have an issue with that.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Are
I
they showing the
mean,
flags on this class as well?
um, are they showing on the? Oh, I don't know. She wasn't in the class.
Yeah. So I guess from my perspective, I wouldn't necessarily take the game away, but it would be highly monitored. Because sometimes things are just thrown in because that's what other kids see. They don't know what it means, but then some things are just deliberate. Um, and
If you were to able to find Kim Kardashian's sex tape in the game, you should. I think
yeah, I mean,
you
yeah,
should.
that's a different thing. Yeah.
But no,
So,
just
Well,
even the
I know that
flags.
happened. I know that happened.
and
The
that's my point.
flags
I'm
are
sitting
there
here
on
like it
purpose.
wasn't
They're
just
not there
that. There
by
are,
accident.
I just think we're adultifying our children too much, and there are
Yeah.
certain things that kids shouldn't be getting to yet. I
Yeah.
mean, there's certain things that there are some certain things I know she knows that she should not know. And you know
Well,
what?
part
That's my fault as a parent. Then
well, part of it is that and we've all done it as parents. Like we kind of sometimes we send the kids off to the wolves, right? Just hey, sit down with this tablet, sit down with this device, go over your friend's house to kind of avoid some of the attention that they need. So we're not monitoring in every situation. So those lapses sometimes come when there's a lack of monitoring, and it's not necessarily intentional. But I think parents, we just have to be more diligent in monitoring
oh,
what our kids are doing
I agree 100%.
because that's
You know me. What do I say? That's why I don't
yeah,
always blame the schools. I
yeah,
blame the parents.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's I mean, that's
yeah.
important to monitor it, and that's like the key thing. Like
Mhm.
monitor what your kids are doing. Like if your kid has a phone, you should have like the parent buddy, whatever something app,
Mhm.
so you know exactly what websites your kids go to. The
Mhm.
time limits. There's certain amount of time that they can spend on certain things. Period. You
I
know.
agree.
Patrick
So
Henderson's right.
Your
yeah,
peers will provide what censor as a parent.
Dude, you
Copy
can't
that.
compete. I once heard it in a movie. How are you supposed to compete with the MTV generation? It was back when I was younger, right? Like these people are being bombarded 24/7. Every device you let them touch, every screen, no matter what you do that you put them in front of, is ultra high risk for massive exposure. No matter how much you monitor, their friends have phones whose parents don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, we just went through that. You're so right, Gim. We
dude,
just
you
went
were
through
a
that.
kid. Don't forget. Think about all the trouble you all got into. I know the trouble I got into. My kid would have a hard time. I'll be waiting in the tree for them because of the amount of trouble I got into.
Yana, I get you. Kids are good at self-monitoring when they are taught what evil is. You're absolutely right, but you also have to understand that peer pressure is real.
Yeah, it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
it is.
And we've
Peer
all been
pressure
through
is
there,
real.
right? Like
Yeah.
we've all been through it. Like we I mean, we didn't just get to adults, right? Like,
No, not at all.
you know, we've been kids before, so we've been through, you know, those experiences. You know, we've been through peer pressure and understanding what that means, and being the only one either standing up for good or, you know, succumbing to the crowd and doing what everybody else is doing. There's a video out right now on Metro News Hub about some lawlessness in Baltimore.
Oh,
There's
wow.
like there's this street in Baltimore that it's a one way, but a lot of people just seem to drive the wrong way on the street. And
Correct.
and the first thing the guy says is, "Well, everybody's doing it." So not just me. So that like peer pressure is something that, you know, we all we all face, and even as adults, like you see everybody, you know, something stupid like going in the exit door when it says no entry. You see everybody going in. He's like, hey, well, I'm gonna go in too. I mean, everybody else is doing it. And that's peer pressure. That's peer pressure.
That's mob mentality.
It's peer pressure. That's what it is. That's you know. So I wanted to talk a little bit about rights today. Like what because one thing that we hear, particularly during Pride Month, is like, you know, the LGBTQ plus IA whatever community needs rights, right? They need their rights protected or expanded, or whatever rights you know, are being fought for. Those rights are needed. So what I guess my question is, and we can mansplain this all day, is like what rights, you know, are being sought after, and you know, how are they viewed versus the rights that we're given as American, not given, but the rights that America is really supposed to be protecting. Um, so like, first off, what rights are being looked for by the Pride and LGBT plus QIA community? What's going on?
Preferential status. That's the rights they want. That's the rights what any group wants to fight for. It's the concept of the victim mentality. They want to overthrow the oppressor that's oppressing them by oppressing that oppressor. And it just creates a cycle where then they become the oppressor, and something fills the vacuum of the next victim that will overthrow them. That's what we go through. That's all of history of man.
So Patrick Henderson in the comments says human rights are being sought for. So
what human rights do they not get? Exactly.
So let me ask, like, what are members of the LGBT plus QIA community, are they not humans already? Is there something else, or they were they something else and then now they're human and they're fighting for human rights? Like, I don't get it, because like, as an American, you're an American, period, and our rights are protected and enshrined in the Constitution.
I think it's more of acceptance. I think we're still at I mean, because everything you said is absolutely right. If you're an American, you are, I mean, you life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You know, but I think it's just that there are people today that they feel that their community feels, the LGBTQIA plus community feels that,
Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful.
you know,
That's what she said.
Oh,
dude, yeah. I just, I just feel that maybe that they're, and you know what, quite frankly, I have no issue with it.
Issue with what?
With the aspect of you saying, hey, treat me as how I want to be treated. I quite frankly don't think that.
Wordy, man. That's
Say
very
again?
wordy to express very little. What you just said.
Well, because
you're hesitating, bro.
because I'm actually thinking. As I was saying before, I was not want to do that to you. No, I just really believe that. I think that is. I think they believe that they're being denied a human experience.
So
Being
KJ
denied the human
says
experience.
KJ Max says LGBT want to have sexual relationships with the same sex. As Americans, they did not always have those rights. What right is the pursuit of sex, though?
It's supposed to be covered with the pursuit of happiness concept, I guess.
But I don't like. There was never a right really to have sex, was it? I mean, that's not necessarily enshrined in the Constitution.
I don't think that it is either. I think, like I said, I think it's preferential status they want. They want to be recognized as a specifically previously oppressed group, and now as such are elevated and enshrined into a position in society where everyone, despite their personal values, has to accept.
So are we essentially trying to legislate a culture at this point? Because
yes,
like it's like the the pride community wasn't necessarily culturally accepted, and now it seems like to influence the culture, politics are being used.
Entitlement is very different for Black Cloud. I guess he means Black Chad Logic than it is for Reason. Entitlement is very much different.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
it is for Gimpy. He said it to me.
That is for Gimpy. Gimpy is a 1,000th Black Jew. Oh boy!
Is Black Chad going to get in trouble for saying that, Gimpy?
No, I don't care. I mean,
no, I mean, I'm sure.
Honestly, we know it varies guest to guest.
That is very true.
I'm saying, I'm sure you can find something in there if you look back far enough.
Whoa.
Oh boy!
So I want to share this though, because this is something that Mr. Biden had to say. Where is it here?
Come on, can we not say that? It's what was prepared for him by a team of press corps people. He has nothing to say.
Well, granted, like they actually
like this is the best and brightest, bro. Like just understand this. All the shit we've been laughing at since 2020, all the mistakes, all the things that's making the world not respect us. This is supposedly the best and brightest the left have to offer.
Well, it is, but so look, this is what Mr. Biden said. It is funny they actually put all the pauses and everything. Like this is from whitehouse.gov. So this is the actual official record of what he said. And this was, after the Uvalde shooting, about essentially the treatment of guns. So the Second Amendment was, which I believe at this point should really be rebranded as the Self-Protection Clause. But it was there for protection, right? So then he says for so many of you at home, I want to be clear, this is not about taking away anyone's guns, but it is. It's about not about vilifying gun owners. They wrote this. This is the White House site. They wrote all this. In fact, we believe we should be treating responsible gun owners as an example of how every gun owner should behave. Now, if that's really what he means, so why isn't he reaching out to the NRA? Why is he demonizing NRA members? Because if you look at the numbers for NRA members, over 5 million people, there's never been a mass shooting or any type of these incidents from anyone that's a registered NRA member, right?
I mean, dude, why did they have Matthew McConaughey stand at the White House secretary?
We're going to get to that.
I'm just saying, dude, it's these people are not. This is what their best and brightest have come up with their focus groups and their Harvard educations. Come on, I don't understand. You work with these people.
So look, he's talking about rights. So he goes on in the second paragraph, this second clause. It says, at the same time, the Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute. So
I mean, it's not. That's a true statement, dude. They could ratify the Constitution and remove one of the bill, any of those amendments. Like there is a mechanism to do that.
but what
Nothing is absolute except the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The original Constitution, as written, is the only thing that's actually absolute. The rest of it can. There is a mechanism for change for anything. We can change any of the laws.
so if we take those away, then we're no longer so essentially we're no longer a Christian nation after if we repeal the Bill of Rights.
How do you equate? I want to understand something before I answer this because it's a loaded question. But how do you equate the Bill of Rights to Christian faith? What's the mechanism that links those two things together for you?
So let's say Judeo-Christian, because I probably shouldn't have said just Christian, but
that doesn't matter. That's not.
Well,
the religious. How is the Bill of Rights a reflection of religious faith and morality?
It's the fact that we have inalienable rights. That's what the Bill of Rights
given us by God.
Right.
Right, but that doesn't. What are the Bill of Rights? That's in the Constitution proper. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments that was actually like a conflict. Like not everyone wanted to sign on to those. It's not. I'm not saying that they're not good. I agree that they're good. I'm just saying, like when he says that they're not absolute, he's right. It's not actually absolute. It's not part of the original Constitution, and even that can be changed through amendment. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he has a point. Like he's technically right. That's why they keep repeating.
So then we have no chance, then, do we?
No, we do. You have to get the mechanism. That's 2/3 of all of Congress. They'll never have that vote. Not today. Not while we're living. So like you're mechanism. Like the founding father. The smartest thing about our white, rich, slave-owning founding fathers was they knew they didn't know everything. So they built mechanisms into the original document that allow for changing of the federal country unifying law of representative republic. I mean, that was their greatest gift to us, is that they made it that it's flexible. Dude, otherwise you wouldn't have the Fourth Amendment. You wouldn't have the First Amendment. You wouldn't have the Second. Those are all things that came after the founding document that are only there by the mechanism of change they put in.
But those I mean, they're there to essentially protect.
Essentially, the people who rallied for them to be in. And again, I agree with that.
But essentially, they're saying like we can't take away your inalienable rights.
No, they're enshrining that when they define that the broader concepts that the Constitution talks about, like the different articles, that there's an ability to ensure that each of the amendments is another step to ensure that that original document is kept to keep the government in check and not the people. Again, the whole reason we have laws is to keep the government in check, and that's why we're supposed to abide by them, because then it keeps the government from having to be overly obtrusive. But it's not. We gave away all the power.
So when he goes on to say right here, right, like there's limitations on the Second Amendment.
He's referring again. Technically, this is what the best and brightest of the left have to offer. Technically, they're right. There are Supreme Court rulings that tell us that define how the Second Amendment is functioning. Like, this is why everyone on the right looks like an idiot to the people on the left, because they buy into this nonsense that they're technically, like it's the bureaucrats in Futurama, the best type of right, technically correct.
So is this being interpreted in 2020 speak, or is it being interpreted
it's being interpreted by like what you would do when you don't value actual education and free thinking, and you feed people with talking points for an education to regurgitate back, and especially at the highest levels, because all these clowns come from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Cornell. I'm just saying, like, we get it wrong when we don't fight them on the term. Like, you have to recognize the terms that the enemy sets. You don't have to meet them on them, but you have to recognize them. In their mind, they're technically correct. They're not lying. Like, they're not misleading.
They're
like,
fundamentally wrong. You could be technically correct and fundamentally wrong, though, right?
Yes, of course. Again, I totally disagree with everything. That's not the point. But, like, we come at this like he's a babbling idiot. For his people to give this to him, they're not that stupid. In their mind, they're telling the truth. They buy their own Kool-Aid, drink it, mix it, you name it. They own the left loves to drink its own Like the
So
people in power,
let me ask you this: Are
drink their own
fundamentalists
water.
obsolete in 2022? Are
What was that?
fundamentalists obsolete in 2022?
No. There's lots of fundamentalists all over this country, all over the world. That doesn't change these lunatics. They have a game plan. They stick to it. Your whole book, Color Communism and Common Sense, exposes it completely. Everybody pick up a copy.
Yeah,
My shameless promoting. If he drops the link,
Good promotion.
Yeah, let me get the link.
I'm just saying, like, you come on, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to rant and take up the time.
No, it's fine. No, this is good. We're this is the conversation. This is the man perspective.
But like, you can't. You have to know your enemy. If they're really fighting us and trying to, and they're not my enemy because I care what gay people want. Like, okay, go live your life. You don't shove it down my throat. I won't even notice, honestly.
So if
everyone should have the same rights. That's the idea of living in a free society, but we're irresponsible with it because everybody wants to be a step above the last guy who was in charge.
So if the LGBT community is given quote unquote rights, they're not absolute.
They have rights.
Everybody has the same rights.
Everybody
That's
has
the
the
whole
same
point. Now
rights.
that there's no slavery and you're not allowed to discriminate, that's it. Everybody should do, and they want to get married, they can get married now and have families and adopt kids and have surrogacies. And there is no limit. What rights are left for them to get? They can own business, they can do commerce, they can have families. There's no restriction that heterosexual people have that they don't have. What rights are they fighting for? Recognition that every human being on earth loves gay people? That's a net zero game. You can't win that. You're never going to have everybody on your side. You're never going to even have all the people to make you feel better about yourself on your side. That's
what's the? I mean, I guess what's the fight for? So if this, I guess like if we're talking about this, we're talking about the a right that was used to protect, like, one, for self-defense, to be able to protect oneself. We're talking about that on one hand versus the right to have sex.
No, it's not the right to have sex. They have laws that, like, they again, that's where the courts come in. They're technically correct because courts have ruled and states have passed laws that overturn their sodomy laws that prevent. There are states in this country you couldn't have gay sex, you could be arrested for it. That existed here.
But that wasn't a federal law.
No, but there were states had that too. State law is as important as federal law in this country. That's what a true federalist, like, that's the whole way this country works, is those states, because marriage is handled solely by the state.
But that's a state's right. That state's right, though, right? Like that.
Right, but that's what the whole constitutional ruling says, is that it's not a state right, that there has to be equal access under the law. And yes, you can say it's to have sex. It's not. It's to have sex and get married. You have to have. It's like you can't. It doesn't enshrine the right to be gay. It enshrines the right to be gay and married.
I think what Yana says is very interesting. She said they don't want anyone to ever criticize them. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not mad at them. I have known gay people in my life. I know gay people now. It doesn't, like, my personal thoughts are not going to create me to have an animosity towards my neighbor. Like, people have to grow up. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to agree with their lifestyle as long as they're not trying to make it into every aspect of your life and gain status over you. That's what it is. It's when these groups go to the point. There's nothing wrong with Black people organizing and deciding they want better living conditions out of inner cities. It's when they want it at the expense that other people should suffer for them to get it that is crossing the line. It's the same for gays.
I get that.
For women.
That's
every group. When does it become a bad thing? Is when it has to be at someone else's expense only.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
So, like, I don't have to agree with. I don't agree with all of feminism or all of gay rights. I'm a very.
That's where I was going.
But I can live in peace and harmony with all these people if I have to. I can make it work, but there has to be a reasonable assumption of how it goes. Stop indoctrinating children. Stop grooming them. It's not important to try and get kids to be convinced about that nonsense when they're 6.
There's a fundamental that I always go back to, and that's just the fact that we're American. Like, the flag that we should be flying is red, white, and blue, 13 stripes and 50 stars. That's the flag we all should be flying. But what we see,
again, we all agree with you on this, but it's again, we're not the problem. It's the people who go to these extremes and make it into a political ideology and try and brainwash the masses.
Well, some will say this conversation that we're having right now is pretty extreme.
I don't know. No one here said anything derogatory about anybody.
Period.
And they say derogatory shit about us all the time. All the time. Like our people revel in getting death threats.
Christopher Anderson, they're forcing this stuff on our children. Nothing to discuss or figure out. We must be brave enough to fight them. That's all.
Again, that's the thing, is that they're going beyond a reasonable societal thing. Well, this is a free society. Then the reason why I say it is because I want my freedom. If I start picking and just choosing which freedoms that are outside of moral degeneracy to run around,
you have to hold yourself to that same standard. Yeah.
Dude, they'll just turn it back at me. Look at what goes on in the current political landscape.
So you have a question here, Gimpy. Do you agree with white rights?
I mean, everybody has rights. It's not a white rights thing.
So yeah, I don't. So I guess I'm a fundamental American, right?
Yes, I don't believe in any white nationalist unique. They're insane. That's going over the line. Everybody should just want to be treated the same. And we all go about our stuff and have to deal with each individual person. Like, you're never going to wipe hate out. So I'm never going to have people that don't dislike me or want to cause me problems.
Black Chad, what about you? You believe in white rights?
I believe in rights. I don't think rights have color.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the whole thing. It's like, we got to stop worrying. It doesn't, if Yana can be black, I'm serious. If that nonsense is a real thing, she's the whitest woman on earth, and she now gets to count as a person of color because of some political intersectionality. Like, does that even make sense? That, like, basically, and then you go to state that it's like the Italians and the Irish, other white groups, like, that basically demonstrates that color has no meaning.
So I will say this, right? Like, we have to stop putting these labels on things that are fundamental. Justice is one. Like, it says, like, our Pledge of Allegiance says justice for all. We don't need social justice. We don't need environmental justice. We don't need hair justice, or I don't know, foot justice. I don't like. We have to stop putting these descriptors in front of the words, like white rights, black rights. No, one of the things about America is that we're fighting towards what the Constitution says, like, all men are created equal. There were times in this country where all men weren't equal, but instead of abolishing, the Constitution, which a lot of people are trying to do these days, we should be fighting towards what the words mean. I've had people say to me, when I mentioned that all men are created equal, they say, well, that wasn't written for me. That doesn't apply to me. And that wasn't written for us. And it's often, black people saying it. And it's like, what do you mean? That if we're in this country, we were born here, we're Americans, we should be fighting for when it says all men are created equal. And that means I believe I'm just as good as anybody else. And I'm better than half the people.
I just want to say to Christopher Anderson, the church is messing themselves up more than anyone else. Yeah, there are plenty of enemies of the church out there, but it's not like the church walks around crystal clean.
And I'm the best one on this show.
Well,
okay.
I can't say. I'm pretty sure it's Black Chad. He's the best one on the show when he talks, or when I don't talk, so he can talk.
No, yeah, I think he's looking up something right now. So
yeah, I just got something sent to me that's kind of off topic, but I find it interesting. The House passes the sweeping gun package, the Protecting Our Kids Act, and large party line vote.
Wow. Yeah.
So
it will die in Senate. See, that's what I mean. You don't have to worry because they won't have the 10 votes. So it's like, because you know that they're not, like, the way it's set up. That's the whole point. That's why it has to be malleable and it can change.
I think it's very important
Wow, it passed 223 to 204. One Republican did not vote.
I think it's very important to not be so emotionally reactive
Wow.
to everything that happens.
Mechanism to power.
Like we have to stop being so emotionally reactive. No, like we can have compassion, we can understand the the gravity of the situation, but the response shouldn't be to take away, a fundamental American right. I'm going to stick with that because
I don't
if
disagree with you.
if more people were able to be in positions of self-protection, self-defense, we wouldn't have all these situations going on in our urban America, in the grocery store, in anything.
So you
Right?
understand that we had that once in a sense. The Wild West is an excellent demonstrator. Like people were armed and it had plenty of crime and bad people. And I mean, I know there are variously big differences between now and then and whatever, but like arming everyone, then they had to disarm. Then it became that you couldn't come into city limits with your guns. You had to turn them in. You can get them back when you left. It was stuff like that.
So
Like
I mean, we just lost morality then, man. That's really what it is. Because like as a moral, I have no desire or intention to hurt someone just on a whim.
okay.
Now,
Yeah, but hurt is
if-
subjective. Hurt
no,
is subjective.
harm. Let's say harm, whatever. I have no ill intent for anyone just walking down the road. Now, if someone's coming after my family, coming after endangering me, my life, the things that I work hard for, the things I build, that's a different story.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And
well, we already said that gets a different word. That's self-defense.
Right. So I think the Second Amendment should be rebranded to the self-defense, self-protection. Because that's what it is. Like every person should have the right to be able to self-protect. And that's what the Second Amendment guarantees, or at least tries to.
Against government tyranny.
Against anything.
I agree. I'm just throwing that in there.
Government tyranny is the major part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the basics of it is that you should have a right to defend your life. If we're saying as Americans you have a right to life, then you should have the right to defend your life.
And you should also have a system that isn't actively trying to work against you. I mean, but that's not a constitutional right. The government is expected to behave properly, and we know they don't anymore, like fully. Like there's no segment of the government that functions in its intended purpose.
And also to jump on the back of what was just stated, I mean, let's understand states like Maryland and states like Florida are very different. Florida gives you the right to defend your life. Maryland says you have to run away. You know what I mean? It is incredibly hard to defend your life in Maryland. Here in Maryland, it's incredibly hard.
So I want to share one last thing on the Second Amendment because.
And Christopher, if you're still here, I'll talk about the Black churches failed us and what you were just talking about. If you're still here, go ahead.
So I've been going on this journey just to learn more history, especially since I'm putting my words out in the public sphere now. Because I want to be, diligent in these things, right? Crap. So that doesn't really work as well. So I want to highlight this part right here. So it says the right of self-defense is the first law of nature. In most governments, it has been the study of rulers to confine this right within the narrowest limits possible. Wherever standing armies are kept up, and the right of the people to keep and bear arms is, under any color or pretext whatsoever, prohibited, liberty, if not already annihilated, is on the brink of destruction. So are we now entering into America where liberty is gone?
I wouldn't say he's giving thumbs up. I wouldn't say it's completely gone.
Dude,
But they're making it ridiculously hard.
Dude, the Patriot Act still exists, and we know. Like, we had whistleblower stuff that told us that they use it for all the wrong reasons, and it still exists. This broadcast is being listened to on some algorithm inside a SOAP server in the DNI.
Oh, yeah.
It's all being processed. They have all the feeds.
But are we on the brink of losing? Like, does liberty even matter anymore? Do we want freedom?
Yeah.
Is freedom something that people crave anymore?
No, people never.
Okay, hold on. Let me. This it's interesting that you say that. It is interesting that you say that. Freedom has been the most blessing and the most curse. That, I mean, for real, we are the freest country in on this planet. There, when it comes to women, when it comes to the rights of Black people, women, LGBT, all that good stuff. We are the freest country on this planet, right? And the results of that are we are the most everything else. We're the fattest people on the planet. You know, we're the most divorced people on the planet. We're the most anything that involves massive quantities of liberation also has massive quantities of extremes, and the United States shows it.
Well, true freedom requires strict discipline. I mean, it's part of
true freedom. True freedom requires strict discipline.
One of the paradoxes of life, man.
So, do you know the easy way to put that? Like, have you ever heard the shopping cart example?
No.
You've got plenty of them. Go ahead.
No. So the shopping cart example is if a person is worthy of self-governance, it's shown in their shopping cart usage. When you're done with the shopping cart, no one makes you put it back. You know that the kid will grab it from next to where you put it in between the 4 cars. If you leave it there, there's no reason for you to have to walk to the spot. But if you do it to voluntarily complete the social contract, so that kid has an easier job pushing it back, right?
I put the shopping carts back.
So do I, but I'm just saying that's a self-governance. People will just leave it because they're selfish, and they're the ones who mess up self-governance. How many shopping carts you see around all the time in the parking lot? There's always shopping carts.
No, man, I just can't stand that. I don't know.
It also depends on which place you go to. If you go to Aldi, you know they make you lock it back.
Aldi.
Up. If you go to if you go to their
because they don't.
If you go to Gershbeck's, they don't even let the cart out of the. You have to bring your car up. You know what I mean? So you know they
police it. So basically, you said in order to protect the law of shopping carts, they police it.
Yes, that's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah.
Right. So they know better than to trust us. The whole method of the example of the shopping cart is they shouldn't need any of that, and we should all be putting it back because it's the right way to do it, so that the whole process of having shopping carts when you come in is good and ready. Everyone benefits by a little self-governance, and that's the whole point of that. Tyranny is always one generation away.
Man, I don't know. Maybe just growing up, I don't know. Like, I was always one to want to leave an area better than I found it.
That's still how I live life today.
And like, I just never understood why anybody would want less than that, right? Like, I always tried to treat people with respect. I even walking around town now, like I'll say what's up to people, even though it's like generally culturally unacceptable in Baltimore City. Like, I'll still say what's up, like how you doing, stuff like that. And some people spark conversation. Some people really want to talk. But I just always, found it as a principle to leave an area better than what you found it, and at least don't leave it worse, right? Like, if you can't make an area better, just say, hey, just pick up after yourself. Like, if you're in a office space or a conference room or something like that, and you had an event or something, like, just pick up after yourself. Don't, just because they have cleaners doesn't mean you need to leave everything to the cleaners. Like, just have some self-respect. Like, you don't leave everything on your kitchen table. I mean, I guess some people do, but you don't leave everything on your.
Dude, I agree with you.
You go to a restaurant, stack up your dishes. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. Like, you want to pay pay the positive energy forward and stuff like that. Stuff is exactly how you're supposed
It's
to.
not even just trying to pay it forward. It's just
but
like
it is. That's all it
like-
is that you're pushing it forward because you benefited from the meal, and now you're going to make it easier on the waitress by stacking your dishes, for Black Chad's example, so that she has an easier time doing her job, and the cycle of the social contract that we all get along is made easier. The stress is removed from it, because if you leave a messy table and you dump shit everywhere, she's got to clean it all up. The busboy's got to come and help. They get pissed off, and that stacks when you have that 50 times in an 8-hour shift or a 10-hour shift, or what if they're pulling a double, God forbid.
But you're getting paid for that.
Like
you're literally getting paid.
You want to get abused at your job?
Well, do I want to get abused at my job? Hold on, this is completely different examples.
Here we
completely
go.
different examples. If I leave a plate,
ding, ding, ding.
if I leave it destroyed, which I hardly ever do,
Exactly.
because in my past I've done it before. So in my past, but if I do, I'm leaving. Well, they're getting 20% anyway.
Oh,
but that 20% is going to be like, they're going to be like, oh, well, shoot, okay, I guess it was worth it. No, I mean,
can't buy manners.
That's not buying.
Yes, it is, dude. Come on.
You get paid. You get paid
for manners.
You're not going to go.
You don't want to be treated that way at your job. You don't want users coming at you and giving you bullshit.
Do you think someone's going to just come in,
smashing their keyboards in front of you?
Do you think someone's just going to come in and intentionally shit on you at work? Like just intentionally do it?
Yeah, some people do. People come in with
are you expecting to be intentionally shit on when you go to work?
No, because that's
okay. And neither are they, because they know they're getting paid. They know they have a job to do. They're getting paid to do it.
The point is you're taking the onus off yourself of your side of the social contract. Like, her social contract is to go to work, get paid, suck it up, fine. But at the other end of it, you, the customer, have an obligation to behave on your best behavior as well.
Dude, what do you think the customer's always right means? I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's still
good business. I mean, that's capitalism, dude. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you.
So, Chad, you're a fan of leaving places worse than what you found it. Is what
bro, you listen to absolutely nothing that I just said.
No,
I said I never do this. If you rewind it, you guys rewind this. I said this is something I never do. I said in the off example, because I've done it in the past. I had to do it through high school. I had to do it through, I've done it in the past. I understand how that works. I would never intentionally do that to anyone.
Having durability at work is not that answer absolves everyone else you deal with of having to treat you properly.
Oh no, I'm not. No, they do. They do have to treat. I mean, that's what HR is.
So that's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is,
so you're agreeing then. Just say you agree, and we can call it a game.
No, you don't. No, man. I'm not going to just sit down and take a knee. I'm not logic. It doesn't work like that.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you just proved my point.
You have no logic, is what you're saying. You have no.
Go out of your way to behave better. It's not about just the financial transaction that's going on. There's a whole moral and social transaction that's going on, and you should treat the person with respect. Would you ever be verbally abusive to your server? I mean, minimum you can be afraid that they'd spit in your food if you want to worry about it.
I understand that, but maybe it's just me. My mentality: I go to work, I do my job, and I come home.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Let me ask you, how do you do your job, though? How do you do your job?
Ridiculously efficiently. That's how I've gotten to where I've gotten in the past.
But the best you can, right?
Say again?
The best you can, right?
Yeah, the best I can.
So shouldn't people treat
use that verbiage
they can when they're interacting with you?
Say again?
Shouldn't people treat you the best they can when they're interacting with you?
Shouldn't they? Should they?
Yeah. In order to have a free and open society, do you think that there's an obligation on those people to treat you as well as you're treating them?
An obligation? Absolutely not.
So they're allowed to just and kick you and hit you with a brick?
They could do that if they want to, and that's what they'll suffer the consequences of that.
I can't
suffer the consequences of that.
I lose. I take the loss. After hearing that you will accept getting hit in the
Oh,
head.
no. I didn't say I'd accept it at all. You did hear me just say you suffered the consequences of that?
I cannot double down nearly as hard as
you suffer the consequences of it. You can do whatever
do
you
you think
want to do. There are consequences to your actions. Say again?
Does your paycheck cover getting hit in the head with a brick?
Yes. Yes, it actually does. I work at a hospital.
Wow.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God, I lose. I take the loss.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does.
I can't. He wins. Yo, dude, this guy goes to work to get hit.
No. See, you guys are misinterpreting a lot of different things. You go to get hit. No, I didn't say that at all. HR's there for a reason. Like, you can say whatever you want to say. We have a First Amendment right to say whatever we want to say. You have consequences. There are consequences to your actions.
You're right. There's one thing.
I do not like what I'm saying is
minimum.
I don't go out into society expecting people to treat me like I treat them.
No, I never do. I get that. I get that part.
I get that part. So I don't understand how you guys can.
Like, this mentality promotes that I can hit you in the head with a brick and you just have to deal.
No, it doesn't. And I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Maybe you're misinterpreting or misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying. That's not what I said at all. I said you can do what you want. There are consequences to your actions. That's what I said.
Yes, I get
multiple
that, but like, don't you think? Okay, so
for example, if someone tried to break into my house, I say it again. There are consequences. I'm not expecting it.
All right, you guys
can do it, but there are consequences to actions. That's all.
Check.
That's
one, two. Check 1, 2.
There are consequences to actions. You guys, we are www.metroconservativemedia.com. You are with us on Aftershow, Pop and Politics. The ladies, we have Logic, Gimpy, and myself, Black Chad, a.k.a. Reason. We appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Catch us out every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. We have Pop and Politics Thursday night, 8:30 show with KJ and Great Thoughts Matter. Also, we are big proponents of colored communism and common sense, and also the Tuttle Twins, which have incredible literature for the young kids of the generation to help them learn about morality. And also how things are put together in society in general at a very young age. I'll say it again. I've said it once. The Golden Rule is an incredible book. I believe my daughter has that one as well. Yeah. We all have a ton of them for the guys who are here. And I'll say it again. If I personally, or if my generation, which I think we're all Gen X here, if Gen X had books like this when we were younger and growing up, it would be a completely different setup in society today. Kids would have a much firmer grasp on how things are done and how things are ran and all that good stuff. So, let me see. Big proponents of communism and common sense. Color communism and common sense. You know what, Yana? You're a special type of wonderful, Yana.
So let's go get out of here, guys. But I do want to ask this last question.
Yeah, he's trying to get in some what was that?
Assassin's Creed.
Some Assassin's Creed.
Odyssey, man. This is the one for the Romans.
Man, oh my gosh!
Assassin's Creed. Some of these games are really good.
Oh yeah, some of
visualizations of history.
Yes,
like some of the things that goes, like particularly Assassin's Creed. It is a really good kind of visualization of history that you kind of get to play through.
Assassin's Creed franchises, there's
a lot of history. It's a game, so take it for what it's worth. But you guys don't knock it. You learn a lot from these. You learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let me. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions though. What's something like growing up or in your past that you've surprisingly learned a lot from that's generally not supposed to use to be learning? So a video game, for example, or something like that.
Ridiculously. I have no clue what that question meant. Can you ask? Did you get what you're saying?
What's something that you actually learned in life, life lessons that's not actually an instrument of learning? Like instead of school, like you learn something outside of school, like, or I'm gonna go first, right? So
you had this question already planned. Of course, you want to go first.
To give you an example, South Park, the television show, I learned so much about life from.
South Park.
Well, you're probably not the only one who can say that. To be fair,
South Park
is a rather popular show.
No, but but if you not just for the comedy of it, like you,
Yeah.
there's a lot, not just like not like
Yeah.
Alright,
Put the tongue back in your mouth, man. Put the tongue back in your mouth, man.
life lessons, right? Not just life lessons are learned from. There's a lot of L's in that alliteration. But South Park, like I learned about Scientology, I learned about Mormons, I learned about if you watch some of the newer seasons, you kind of learn a lot about
I didn't even know
politics
they
and
were
stuff.
still making South
Yeah,
Park. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They have COVID specials and everything.
Yeah, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot. I mean, they came out with the Disney stuff long before we're talking about Disney groomers now.
Oh yeah.
So South Park was my kind of, I guess, unconventional learning tool.
Yeah, want to take a shot?
Video games.
Anyone in particular?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 11, man. My first real like hardcore MMO, because by playing that game, I interacted with people all over the world in its own little micro universe, and it gives you a perspective on how things work that you might not have actually had till you deal with people at that level, because they get grimy in video games.
What's amazing, I think you learn more about real life in virtual worlds than you do in.
Yeah, but the problem is people
life.
don't ever get out of virtual world and apply it for their real lives. They just stay in virtual world.
Yep.
Like that's the downside.
Yeah, I thought to that Ready Player One, when that movie came out, I looked at that and I'm like, what is the chances of this? You know what I mean? I was looking at Ready Player One, like, man, is that what it's going to actually turn to the point where people are in virtual reality more than they're in real life?
Yep.
Of course, dude. They want us like batteries in the Matrix, plugged in and just sitting there.
So, what is yours, Black Chat?
Black Chat. I'm an avid reader, and I've always been.
Well, everybody learns from books,
which is an educational tool.
Like, dude, no, like I've learned.
This guy doesn't get it.
I've learned more from reading in my life than. You know what? Actually, to. You know what? All right, fine. Let's
answer the question.
No, I did answer. I did answer the question. I'm sorry, it wasn't the answer that you were looking for. I'm sorry, it wasn't the answer you were looking for.
Oh,
I guess
I was looking for. How about you apply
I guess it can go into what Christopher Anderson was talking about. So both my parents are retired pastors. So being in the church my entire life, seeing,
is that
and then
the book? Does that qualify worse than the book's answer?
This is worse. It's
right.
Worse.
So to grow up my entire life and then go through it and then come out of it on the other end as an adult, I've come to the realization how screwed up the black church, really is.
Yeah.
It is, and I have to separate. It's a cultural thing. I mean, it's like I would tell.
Let's talk about that next week. Let's talk about the church next week. Let's go like literally in on the church next week.
Oh, well, shoot, yeah, we could. Do that. But to say that, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what. Yeah, we can.
Let's go into the church next week. But two more questions. I know I had two questions before, but just real quick.
This list just grows.
Yeah, it does. So because we just started talking about video games and we were talking about making good moral decisions. So like in those games,
these questions should have came out in the beginning. We talked all this stuff about.
So these the games that you have, like those decision trees, and that you can either play go down the good path or the bad path.
Yeah.
Like which one do you pick?
Okay, can I take a shot at that first?
Go ahead.
Are you going to say books?
Actually, I'm going to say, believe it or not, actually, I am. Before I get into game, when I was younger, it was.
Come on, answer the question.
So shut up and listen. So it was choose your own adventure books. I don't know if you remember those. Oh wow, you guys do, yeah. So 99% of the time, I was going down and this jumps into that whole church thing again. 99% of the time, I was going down the evil side.
And the church.
You went down the evil side?
99% of the time, because like I said, you know what? When you're forced church, 99%, yeah. and that went into the gaming aspect as well. I was JRPG, RPG, everything.
You chose the villain.
So I wanted to see the villain side of it because I've always seen the good side of it. Playing, going into competitive back in Jersey, competitive state ranked MTG Magic the Gathering. Always did the
He just threw out his certifiables right there. But
Yeah.
No, man. Yeah, absolutely.
He just tossed them on the table for you to be awed and wild with. Because
No,
I was left speechless when he made that Magic the Gathering.
No, you weren't. No, it's just I finally gave that dude. No, I still have Magic cards here.
Magic, dude.
Hey, we gotta get at it sometime. I realize I still have some.
I have some too.
Oh yeah, but dark.
What about you, Gimpy? What about you?
What's the question again?
So in those games,
good. I never answered it. Did you say I did?
In the games,
what is dark side? What is the dark path? What does that mean?
So for real, and when I want to play through for fun, like on those games, I'll play through once on the dark side because that's the one that's more like thrilling in a sense. But then the harder one to get like done is always the good side, like because the tasks are more. So I'll do that too. It's not fair. I'll search both sides out and use the best.
I literally never played the dark side.
Yeah, I know. We know. You don't have to tell us. It's like tattooed on your forehead, bro.
God.
Like
I never played.
Hey, he can fit a lot of things on his forehead.
Ooh.
Hey yo.
Ooh.
Take that how you want.
All right. So last question. What is a woman?
What is a woman? Oh, like that.
Hold on, time out. I don't know if you remember 2 weeks ago, I answered this question. A young lady asked it in the chat, and I answered it myself. And her response was, "These gentlemen at least know what the." I'll happily take a shot at that. I have no fear of answering what is a woman, and I will say it again. It is a ridiculously easy answer, and I'll say the same thing I said last time. Foundationally, a woman is an XX chromosome. You can add on top of that whatever the hell you want to, but foundationally, that's what a woman is, an XX chromosome. It's that simple.
What is a woman, Gimpy?
I mean, he stole my answer.
That's what I said 2 weeks ago. Middle of conversation, I said so-and-so to answer your question. Foundationally, woman's an XX chromosome. All right, continue. I said that last week.
I mean, I'm not going to, it's not a game. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, if you want to look at it as reincarnation or whatever, that souls come back, however you want to explain whatever you're going to mental illness, it doesn't matter. It's a fact. It's fundamental. Like, you are what you are. Like, everything else is a deviation from that fact that you have to make some sort of leap to.
So yeah, let's talk about that next week too, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Those are two big topics.
Well, what do you mean? They've merged themselves pretty well.
Yeah, we can get into it. All right, let's get out of here. Chad, you want to close it out? Gimpy, you want to close us out?
No, it's Chad's turn, man.
What do you mean it's Chad's turn?
It's always Chad's turn, brother.
Well, no. Chad has the quiet,
Marvin Gaye, the deep radio voice.
He has the radio voice. So go ahead.
All right, you guys. Finally,
everybody get this book. Get these.
Yeah, get the golden rule, you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for checking us out this evening. This is just the guys giving our response to Poppin' Politics every Wednesday night at 8:00. Once again, Thursday night, 8:30. It is the 8:30 show with KJ. Check us out on www.metroconservativemedia.com. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful evening, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Catch you guys later.
That's awful.